I am really excited to share this because it's been a super fun project as usual. This is the third big course that we've created together. We've probably done about 5 or 6 other ones. Yeah, so the difference between this course versus the Knowledge Business Blueprint and Knowledge Broker Blueprint is this one's more focused on online courses, which I love, obviously. It's my specialty. And the others are more focused on in-person or live workshops and masterminds. And so with everything that's happened within the last year, the entire world has really had to shift very quickly into online courses. Even people that weren't previously like taking courses or building courses, they really didn't have any other choice. It was kind of like sink or swim type of thing. And so one of the questions that I think is a really good question that's been brought up is like, do you feel like online courses are just so saturated now because there's so many people creating them? And on one hand of the spectrum, like, yeah, there are a lot more people entering the market and creating courses now that they've kind of had to be forced into it and then realize, hey, this is actually not that bad. Tony Robbins being one of them. He never, ever planned on doing UPW, Unleash the Power Within, or any of his live events online because he just didn't think that the results could be achieved online. And he had to do it, kind of forced into it. And now it's something that they're going to continue to do because they've seen that there really is amazing ways that you can reach so many more people online. I don't think it's ever going to take the place of live. Like, I love live and I can't wait to start going to events again. But it's definitely, I mean, it works. There's a reason why this is almost $1 billion a day industry, or will be within the next few years. So on the one hand, like, yeah, there are a lot of people that are now entering the market that weren't previously, and there's a lot more courses being created, but at the same time, it's also drastically expanded the buyer's market or the consumers, because people that I would never have even thought about taking things online, they were just more, I don't know, just wasn't in their vortex. They just did everything in person. Again, kind of had to get thrown on that end of the spectrum as well. So I am going to share my screen, my mobile, show you a little bit of the design process as well as just like the site. The first step, always after figuring out or understanding the outline, is going into, I guess, like the goals and objectives of creating the course, and then leveraging design to achieve those. So I look at this design, it's not just about like things looking pretty. It's more so used as a tool and leveraging it to reach those outcomes, which number one is going to be getting your customers to actually consume the content, because that's the only way that they ever have a chance of actually implementing and then reaching the desired results. And if they reach the desired results, they're a lot happier. You have a better reputation for your course and your business, and then that increases the demand for it, and then it also increases the customer lifetime value, because people that achieve the results from that first product that you're selling are a lot more likely to purchase the other courses or services or live events or whatever it may be that you sell after the fact. So the things that I think about when it comes to design, I think with there being so many more courses on the market, I do think that the aesthetics and the user experience is even more important than it ever has been. And I love design, so obviously I'm going to hold that very high in order of importance. I think it also gives you more of a higher perceived value and sets you apart as more of a premium brand. I'll show you the course from my desktop first. Okay, so this is what I consider to be the course homepage. So you think of this as like the table of contents of the library for your program. Just like a book would have a table of contents, your course should have one as well. And it welcomes the customers to the program. It's going to typically have a welcome video on the next steps that you want them to take. Any other really important things that you want them to be able to find very easily. So like resources, this is the software that goes along with the program, and then a link to the community. And then below that are going to be your modules. So think of these as like a section of a book, or a book has sections within it, and then each section has chapters within a book. So your modules are like the section of a book, and then the lessons within each module are like the chapters. So we have the module 1 through 6 listed here in a slider, because again, I'm always thinking about like, how can we display the content that we need in the cleanest format? So there's ways to leverage design. So if you have a lot of things that you need to incorporate within the program, you can do it in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming, because that would be like the next like point I want to make. Of course, like aesthetics and design, and then like your mobile experience, those two. And then 3 would be reducing overwhelm and keeping people really clear and on track of what it is that they want, what you want them to be able to do next, or figure out what their next step is. Because the reason why people are willing to pay premium prices for online courses is they're looking for the fastest way to get to the result that they want. So how to get from A to Z as quickly as possible with less headache and stress than they would be able to do on their own. So by purchasing something like a course like this from Tony and Dean, who have mastered this area of their life, like they have a combined, I don't know, like 65 years of experience between the two of them of delivering really, really high value and results-driven programs. So they're like, whether they're in person masterminds, live events, like Tony has his most recent UPWs before they had to close the past year, I think it had up to 15,000 people in there, and they're just fully engaged for 4 days straight, all day, all night. I know because I've been to them, and he's really like just a master at his craft. It's absolutely phenomenal. But by learning from someone like them, you're really going, as Tony says, condense decades into days or decades into weeks, because you're going to be able to overcome those obstacles, or just actually not even overcome them, avoid the obstacles and all of the pitfalls that you might do on your own. So this is the module. And then we go to the module page. This is like the section of the book. Again, this is, I've never really done this type of design before with it, where it's a lot simpler of a page, because I just want to keep people really focused on the main objective, which is actually consuming the content. And then also mapping out like what else do we need to have here to be able to have your customers really easily navigate. So something that I mentioned this before in one of the last Facebook Lives that I did, but something that might not like stand out to you right away without paying attention to it is how many forms of navigation there are on this page without it looking like crazy. But I think navigation and progress tracking is one of the most important things to keep that overwhelm down and keep people focused and on track. Because if they don't know what they're supposed to be doing next, it's really easy to just get confused and lost and frustrated, especially if it's something that they're learning for the first time. There's already a little bit of anxiety or anxiousness or nervousness around the topic or subject, or they invested a bunch of money and they're like thinking about like, did I make the right decision? Did I just throw away $2,000? Is this a waste of my time? Am I crazy? Should I get a refund? Like there's already all these crazy thoughts that are going on in people's head. You want to try to quiet those a little bit, and getting people frustrated about not knowing where to go on the platform is an easy way to amplify them instead of minimize them. So here we have the course outline, the entire course here. I love doing this because I just think it's so refreshing to just be able to see everything, the entire program, what's been completed, what hasn't been completed, your progress tracking, all listed out. Then we have the other navigation. So aside from, because I want that to be clearly focused on just the course, like the modules, the lessons, and the actual like content you're consuming. But then there's always other things that you need to incorporate within your membership platform, like the course homepage, the community, your account. You can see them right here, success tools, which is the resource library, which I'll share that in a minute because I think that is a game changer. Other bonuses, and walk through any other content that you need to include within your program. Again, here all the modules listed out on the side. There's navigation between the lessons here, and then each of these link to the individual lessons as well. So a lot of different, although it doesn't look like cluttered and overwhelming, there's a lot of different ways to get to different things very quickly here. And then the same goes with mobile, which we'll share that in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go back. We go to lesson 1. Okay, so we have the chapter, we have the section of the book, which is your module, and then now we have the chapters within that section. And so here we have listed, and again, this will map to the course outline, so you know exactly where we are. We're in module 1, lesson 1.1 of the course, and then there's 3 modules in this lesson, or there's 3 lessons within this module, and then there's a quiz that then unlocks a bonus, and then there's also additional like next level training for people that want to take things a little bit to more advanced level, because there's people purchasing it every single different stage of journey with creating online courses and programs. Like there's people that are doing this for the very first time, and there's people that are already generating millions of dollars through their courses, but again, they want to learn from the best, which Tony and Dean would qualify as that. And that advanced training helps and is more geared towards that market of the customers. So your lesson number, so you always know where you are, lesson name, short description. I do really like the video timestamps. One of the improvements that I want to add here is right now these are not clickable to the actual part in the video. It was more of just like a timing thing. And then also, I don't exactly know how to do it. I know you can do it. I just need to figure it out and how we can click on this, and then it would automatically skip to that part in the video here without adding any heavy plugins and additional resources to the site, because we want to keep things like page speed as quick as possible. Again, your navigation right here, and then resources. So any resources that are associated with this lesson, and then the downloads, which would be the audio file and the transcript. I typically recommend including within the program. Down here, you can again see like back to module. So it's really easy to get back to where you came from, and then also the previous and next. So I'm just going to keep reiterating that, and just like the importance of navigation, so people can get to wherever they want to go without having to think about it. Obviously, like your navigation at the top should always be the same unless it's a different program. So people get used to, okay, well, here's the course outline always there, and then here's the menu always there on the left. And then continue on. These are all going to look, all the lessons are going to look the same. There's really no reason I could ever think of where you would not, where you'd want the lesson to look different unless you had to for some reason. It was just like it was just completely different structure. But I think that's one of the like key factors you want to keep in mind, is that when you're creating and structuring your course, you want to have consistency in the way that you're teaching, and the design should be consistent as well. Because that helps people know what to expect, and then again, like stay focused and on track without having to figure out like what is all this new content on the page, or why is it all over the place. So if there's ever like a rare exception where you need to add additional things here, you could add it to the bottom of the page, but I would keep that very few and far between, and maybe think about a different place that you could include them, because if it's not really following the rest of the like the normal structure, it probably doesn't belong there. And then, so we're on 1.3, and then this is going to redirect you to the quiz. I already took the quiz, so it's not redirecting me with the test user that I'm logged in here. But I think if I click here, hopefully that would take me to the quiz, because that would make sense. From here, when you do complete the quiz and you pass it with, I believe it's a 80%, you're going to be redirected to the bonus, which is locked otherwise. So here, if I click on the bonus, I'm going to have access because I've already completed all of the lessons within this module. So modeling and masters, extra bonus. So that would be the bonus. And then the next level training, again, is that additional like content for people that want to take things to that next level. So if someone didn't have access to the bonus already, then it's going to display a locked image. So I don't think I have access here. You can see the lock here. And I'm always looking for improvements and things, like as I go through a course as a consumer, as people are going through the courses, like new customers, paying attention to the Facebook group, paying attention to questions that come through customer support, just to figure out what might not be as intuitive as I may have thought. And so the reason why I just brought that up as one thing that I noticed just now is going through this is these locked icons and unlocked icons are way too similar. Like the locked icon and the unlocked icon is like that tiny. I can't even tell really which one. And I'm on a big desktop. So I'm going to change those icons. But if I did go here to like module 4, you'll see that there is a locked image. on the bonus here because I don't have access. I did complete all of the lessons within this module, I believe. Yeah, I did. So if I click on this, it should redirect me to the quiz, which it did. Good. I always get a little bit nervous while I'm saying something on a new course to make sure it actually does what I say it's going to do. We're on a module where you haven't completed it. If I click on this, the bonus, it should redirect me to a page that says, sorry, you don't have access to this. Yes, it's working. And then return to the course or the course homepage. But yeah, so that is the basic outline of how everything works in the program. Again, thinking through those type of things, as in like not wanting people to be able to access the quiz unless they've completed the lessons, and then having a page to redirect to if they don't. There's a lot of if-then logic that's possible with Memberium and LearnDash combined. Like if they're like a dual pair, I use both of them for different reasons. Because there's a lot. I think it would be too hard to explain now. Like when I use Memberium to like control settings and when I use LearnDash to control settings, because I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it to myself right now. But like just an example is typically a lot of people that are creating courses with LearnDash would be using LearnDash's their built-in course tracking, and that doesn't work here because we're mixing course content with just regular other custom post types or other posts. So the lessons and the quizzes and the modules are all LearnDash components, but the bonuses and the next level training are other custom post type or regular posts, which again, like if you're not, that might be going over some people's head, but for people that are interested in more of the technical development side of things, that is how that works. And then so this is a custom built navigation using advanced custom fields. And then the reason for that is that we don't want people, we don't want the next level training and the bonuses to be included in the progress tracking. We don't want it to be a component of the course that you have to complete in order to move forward, or to get the certificate at the end, because they're bonuses or they're extras. So that is why. Okay, so mobile experience I think is so important. The way that I look at mobiles, I want it to have as much of an app feel as possible so that you have just as great of an experience on the phone as you would on your desktop. The reason why I haven't like really switched to using an actual app yet is I don't think the cost and all of the, I don't know, custom development that would be required in order to still keep like the gamification and tracking and all the advanced integrations and functionality would be worth it. Like it's just it would just be such a freaking headache. Maybe in the near future, like there'll be more platforms that make it less convoluted, but right now there just really isn't any like great pre-built software that doesn't lose a ton of functionality with using an app. There are things that integrate with LearnDash and app-wise, but I just have found that it's almost, you lose so much of the like experience. That's why. And okay, so on the mobile, we have the side navigation is the same structure, but just everything's a little bit different for your phone because you have a lot smaller space. And then like the modules, things of that nature, the badges, and then the course outline here as well. So exactly same experience, but different. And then the mobile version, I really like to use the sliders because I think people are very used to, they're just innate. Most people are iPhone users, or I've never used an Android, so I don't know what theirs is like, but it's like, I would call it just like Apple's. You just get so used to swiping things left and right. It's just really like intuitive for most people. And then when we click here, we're going to go to the actual module. And so this one does look a little bit kind of a lot different actually on mobile, because just the way that I have the design I'll go back to in a minute, on desktop, it wouldn't translate very well here, or it wouldn't, instead of looking clean, it would just kind of look boring because of just like too much white space. Where this, I love, like I just love having still like the hero image at the top, but again, it's still very, very clean, and the navigation is super easy. So we have the course navigation here. Okay, so like another thing I just noticed as a user, even though I've gone through this a million times testing, I will always pick up something else. You can't see this very well there. So I'm going to make a note for myself to go back and figure out something for the images that have like not a dark background. The same menu to the side, and then here are your lessons within there. The button, take the quiz, and the previous and next at the bottom. So all the same content, but just put out in a very different way. And then the lesson of itself here, again, very like app-like experience. I played around with not having the navigation at the top because a lot of apps like will not have that top part, but it kind of looked weird to me. So I go back and forth with that part. And I think the consistency of having the menu right there works well too. I did play around with having the bottom navigation sticky there from a development standpoint. I had issues with it getting like kind of stuck, and it just wasn't scrolling as well. So I just scratched that. Maybe I'll look at it later. But we have your video, your lesson summary, and then here I really like, because again, this is a lot of content, but it doesn't feel overwhelming because it's done in a really, like, the way that it's designed, it's a really clean way. So you have the lessons, outline, the completion. This you can see kind of a little bit better where it's checked or not checked for the bonus, the resources, and the downloads. And then on this side, we're going to go back to the toolbox. I'm trying to think if there's anything I haven't shown you, and I'll look in the comments in a minute. Here, and then let me go back to this one because I forgot to show you the resource library, which I absolutely love. Like, I think I've done this for a decent amount of clients now for myself. But instead of just having the resources in one place, like creating a library of the content that's filterable and searchable based on whatever filters you want to incorporate. And so, again, the rationale here is you just want it to be super easy for people to find what it is that they want to find as quickly as they possibly can. And so this takes every single module, lesson, worksheet, bonus, whatever it is, and has it in one course library. Right now, I might play around with having it like find a little bit more aesthetically pleasing with like thumbnails. But again, I kind of go back and forth about that too, because I think the cleanliness and just the simplicity of it, kind of in less fashion, does aid to the benefit or like the main reason we have it. So something I'll think through. But here you can see that we have all the next level trainings, all the different lessons, the toolboxes, the bonuses, and then you can also search by module. And a great thing about this is if someone, because of Memberium's functionality, if someone doesn't have access to one of these, so if you wanted to have all of, like you had 10 courses, but you only wanted people to be able to see here or access the resources associated with those courses if they had access to that course, because they have membership protection on each of these are actually custom posts that redirect to the outside link. It's not going to show unless someone has access to it. Or you could show it and show a locked image, but for this purpose, I think it's a lot better just not show them at all. And then they would go to that link. Yeah, and so using icons, which again, I'm going to change, like improvements that I have here that I want to include. I want to change the icons to be different colors, so they're really easily you'll immediately differentiate which is what is what. So if it's like a bonus I have right now, like a present, that's just making that a different color, then this is next level training. So the little chart thing is in like the going upwards, next level. And then the wrench for the tools and the icons for the video. So using the icons helps a lot, but it just takes take it to the next level and be so much better of a user experience and easier to see what was what quickly if they're different colors. So again, that's like my thought process on random things, thinking through just how can I make this easier for the customers. And then for mobile, if we jump back over to that, library on mobile, when I first did it, I'm like, this is just not a good experience. Like all the filters were on the top, and so even though you're like trying to make them smaller and you're trying to do it in a bunch of different ways, I thought it was cumbersome and it just didn't look good on mobile. So what I decided to do, which I still think it could look a little bit better, so I'll figure out the next version, but the first version of it is here having all of those filters on the sidebar there. And then, yep, so that is that. Also, I am an affiliate for the program, so anyone that is interested in purchasing the actual course, I'm going to include my link in the comments below. And if you purchase through my link, I'll also get access to the online course makeover workshop, which will be in 2 weeks. So it's a live workshop, live virtual workshop, where over 5 days, I'll walk you through the entire process of creating your style guide for your online course and provide you with templates for a template for your style guide, a template for your worksheets, social media, and lesson slides. But I think the biggest benefit of it, because even I still struggle with it, the biggest value that comes from having a style guide is it makes implementation so much faster. And it's, I would say, the number one thing that differentiates from looking kind of just haphazardly put together and then looking professional. Like, you don't need to invest $10,000 in a branding guide in the very beginning. Like, at a certain point in your business, that makes sense to put a lot of investment into branding and design. But for a lot of people, what you need is you just need consistency, and you need to be able to follow a process to be able to easily get your core typography, your core color palette, imagery style, and then where to incorporate those. So it's really easy to duplicate, create new pages, or to create a new social media post, or to create a new worksheet, or even a whole program when you don't have to think about design and reinventing the wheel every single time. So with that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I need to drink water because I've been talking a million miles per hour. I know I should probably talk slower, but I just can't. Or I just don't want to. One or the other. Have a good day, guys.